What's going on, everybody? I'm Gremknot,
Hey, I'm Boss MTG.
and today we're going to rate what we think are your top three cards from each element. Pretty excited, I think, about the list that we've kind of come up with. We've, Boss had a great idea. I won't even take credit for this. He had a great idea. We're going to give, medals out to each of the cards. So we'll give out gold, silver, and bronze, and kind of a throw out to the Olympics that are going on right now across the world. So, pretty excited about this. Just as a quick reminder, underneath my name and underneath Boss's name are both of our Twitters. We are doing a six-pack Elemental Warfare giveaway. As soon as the server comes back up live, we will roll that live. Just go to any of the videos that we've posted on the Champions webpage, like them, take a screenshot, put it on as a response underneath our the tweet that he's reshared and has pinned to my Twitter, and you'll get a free starter pack, and then you'll be entered into the giveaway that I will draw live on Twitch on release day. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start with air, and we're going to give out our first bronze medal. So we have Ruined Skimmy.
Yeah, RuneScape getting the bronze here. Very powerful card, the cheapest card in air from Elemental Warfare, Generation 5. It's going to be a huge part of decks being paired with the Rock Solid mechanic from Nature. It's just a very good card on its own. It can get you can mow down opposing creatures while leaving your champion alive, and also leaving a 0/1 just card around. And it's one of the most powerful cards to bring back with Tempest. Tempest will be the next ability from, I think, the best Tempest card in air from Generation 5, which will be Koof.
Yep, and we'll switch right over into Koof, who's going to get the silver medal.
Yeah, Koof wins silver because Koof is the best Tempest card, only because of its cost. You want your Tempest cards to be cheap because you're going to be bouncing all of your other champions to your hand, so you want to have as much mana as possible to replay everything and don't get stuck with a ton of cards in your hand. But Tempest is going to be a real strong card or a real strong mechanic in Elemental Warfare. And yeah, this gets the nod because it's the cheapest one and the best one, in my opinion.
And now we've got our gold medal finalist here in the form of Flutter. And this Windseeker, I think, is just going to wreak havoc. It's going to get played a ton.
Yeah, super cheap. The cheapest Windseeker card we've ever seen in Champions. And yeah, I think being cheaper is just better. When in doubt, go for the cheaper card. And most of the power comes from not from his power, not from his toughness, but just because you want to have as much mana as possible to replay the Windseeker card you grab, the Evolution Chain you grab, and make sure you're just getting that tempo advantage just from playing Evolutions as fast as possible and getting stronger champions faster than your opponent. And this is going to make that happen stronger than any other card we've ever seen from a Windseeker card.
Absolutely. And who could go wrong with 2 mana draw a card? Love it. So moving into the next element, we're going to move into fire. And our bronze medalist here is Brony.
Yeah, coming in a race at third place would be Brony, the cheapest combustion card we've seen outside of Vroom, but I think the stats are more relevant than Vroom will be. This is actually a real creature, and it comes at a time when they will have something you want to combustion away, and this is super efficient, better than the previous version we saw at 3 mana for a 4/4 combustion. Super good rate, gonna see a lot of play, and it can go face and finish off opponents too.
Absolutely. I'm super excited about this. I think it's going to be seeing a ton of play. Fire, I think overall is one of the weaker elements, but I think there are definitely still some cards that are very good. And another one of those is Graphite here, coming in second place, getting our silver medal.
Yeah, Graphite getting the silver here. This egg is super strong because of the Arson ability, which does 3 damage to one of your friendly creatures. And this egg survives that. So it's going to work really well with the Arson ability. And fire is one of the elements that wants to get big things in play. It only has 1 egg right now in the Anj. But it's really the Arson just making this survive, getting you to draw a card while just progressing your board. I think it's going to fit into most of the fire decks that we see in Standard moving forward.
Absolutely. And then our number one card here, coming in first place for fire, is going to be Blitzy. That's the 2-mana 2/2 with Wildfire 2.
Yeah, a huge package and a small creature here. 2-mana 2/2 with Wildfire 2. This is going to pair very well with the Tempest we seen out of air, and especially with the cheap Tempest card, or the cheap Windseeker card. Like, maybe he pairs with like Bubby instead of just bouncing the same Bubby. But he can pairs with Vantera too, and just for 1 mana do 2 damage, wildfire to anything. And it's gonna be really good with the recruit ability we see out of Water later. It could be really good with say Shatter we've seen previously, or even the one that makes all the Fonteras, the life.
Afterlife.
I can't think of it. Afterlife, yeah, Afterlife. Yeah, this triggers after anything you put in play, and this is the cheapest thing we can see out of it. This is the cheap rate of 2 casting costs with the 2 wildfires is kind of perfect. I think this is going to be the most impactful standard card from Fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Like playing this and then following up with a Whippa, for example, the 1 mana or the 3 mana 1/1. You play that on turn 3. You're getting 6 wildfire damage plus 2/3/1 provoke bodies, a 1/1 body. You still have this 2/2. Everything's being protected. I think the value there is just insane, and that I 100% agree. This is a fantastic card that is going to see a ton of play. And speaking of water, we're going to move into our third place finisher over here in water, and that is going to be Tidorus.
Yeah, this is the best Rising Water card out of water. Rising Water is really strong mechanic, and whenever any card comes to play, including itself, gets +1/+1. This is the cheapest one. It comes off an evolution as well, which we'll get into. But got to give the bronze to the best Rising Water card out of this set.
Absolutely. I think this card is almost going to be a staple in anything that is playing water. Whether you're building a deck around it or you're just playing another deck that has its previous evolution Tufus inside of it. I think this card. I think that at one point I thought that maybe this card should have been a diamond as well. Like this should have just been a whole diamond evolution chain. I think we're going to see some really bonkers banana things going on with Tidorus in the first week or two. But the great thing I like about Elemental Warfare right now is even though I think this is going to be really good, I think the meta could shift and then you can build decks around, oh, well, everybody's playing Tidorus and making big Rising Waters cards. Let me play some different stuff and kind of be able to tackle around it. But I do think your first week or two, this card is going to be on everybody's board and probably be everybody's worst nightmare until, everybody starts building around it. With that, we're going to move into the number 2 card here. This is our silver medalist. This is Whippa. It is a 3-mana 1/1 with recruit.
Yeah, this is the best enabler in the set for a ton of abilities, including that wildfire card and including the Rising Waters we saw. For 3 mana, you get a 1/1, but you also get 2 3/1 provoking Nordies with it. So you get a huge amount of material that all count for wildfire and for Rising Waters. This is going to be a huge part of any synergistic deck that you make with Rising Waters or with wildfire, or just, really whatever. 2 3/1 provoker is going to be enormous. It's going to shift the game. It's going to protect anything you want to be protecting. It just has a ton of utility, and the rate is good too. Yeah. If it wasn't for the first place finisher, this would be my first place finisher for sure.
I'm pretty close in the same boat. And if anybody hasn't guessed yet, if you don't know what the first place finisher is, I don't think there was much of a competition for this. But it is going to be your boy Tufus here. The 1-mana 1/1 Tsunami, just insane value, and out of a 1-mana card, I think it's going to just see play all over the place.
Yeah, one of the most efficient cards ever printed. Gets rid of things early if you need to. Gets rid of opposing eggs. You can fit it in any part of the curve. Pay a turn 5, pay a 4-drop plus this. Curves into the previous mentioned Tidorus. It's a great card to bounce with Tempest effects. It's just going to go in every deck. It's amazing.
Yeah, we could talk about this card forever. What I will mention is for anybody out there that wants to get their hands on a Tufus, the box promo, I believe it was. So if you spend IMX, the first 100 boxes, so that's 36 packs that are bought, Tufus will have a promo. I definitely thought it should have been the case promo, just my opinion. I think Boss also agreed with that notion. It probably should have been the case promo. But if you want to get your hands on an easy Tufus, it's just one way that you could do it. So with that, we're going to move into Dark. And our first to take the podium here is going to be Sparky getting a bronze medal.
Yeah, the rate's just good. 1 mana, 3/4 with Shrouded, which means it can't be targeted unless or until you attack with it first. This is a great equipment target. Say with we didn't mention Madeline's Diary from Water, but things that get accumulative effects just on a creature that they can't get rid of. It's one of the best targets, probably the best target in the game, just to hook up. But even with that said, it has a good evolution chain and it just has a good rate. I think
Yeah,
it's just a good card.
yeah, the rate on this card is fantastic. As you mentioned, Madeline's Diary. I do think that there is a meme deck that exists out there that is, some form of Dark and Water with Madeline's Diary. It's, 1 mana. It's super cheap for I think a total of 4 mana with the Diary plus the Sparky. There's a world where you just get, one of the vortexing creatures every single turn, and I think the value is really good. So with that, our second place finisher here is going to be Thief. And
Yeah,
I super, super love this card, this whole evolution chain.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's part of a 3 card chain. This is the cheapest steel card we've ever seen. Steel cards are great when they come a part of a chain because you got the value from it up front, and you just keep going on and on. That's just gonna be good. It's gonna be part of chains that go on in dark. Set 5 moving forward. I think it's just good.
yeah,
Strong card on its own too.
absolutely. And speaking of this evolution chain, the number one card on this list that will be our gold medalist is Viperous. I believe this comes at the end of the Thief Slither Viperous chain here. And this is, in my opinion, probably one of the craziest cards. Raise Dead with 2 mana. It's super cheap to raise dead in a set that's full of and not just water, but just full of enter the battlefield abilities that you want to abuse. I think this card's going to see a ton of play.
Yeah, hugely impactful. All the raised dead cards are impactful. This comes with just 2 life. It's so small. There's like basically no downside when you start with as much life as you do in champions here. Yeah, and then it comes on a great chain. It starts with Thief and goes into this. The rate's just great. The builds are just great. I like every part about this card.
Yeah, I mean, playing a 6 mana 6/7 isn't great, but I would play a 6 mana 6/7 that raise deads too, right? We already play a 6 mana 9/9 that raise deads for 6. But then hitting this off of the chain where you go from steel to shrouded. So if you ever evolve your Thief, you're almost always guaranteed to evolve your Vipers. There's like very niche, minute ways that you're not evolving into it. It feels so good to evolve this card. So very interested in how that actually plays out. But we'll move on to normal now, and we've got Axe coming in here into the bronze medal position.
Yeah, the obliterate mechanics is just so strong. We saw that previously, and I mean it's just coming at 1 mana cheaper. We saw a 6 mana 8/9 before, and now it's just coming a mana cheaper that anyone can get, anyone can play. It's gonna be a low rarity card. Just it fits into every deck. Unconditional removal. Yeah, it has a small toughness, but I mean you got your value out of it as soon as you play it. I
Yeah,
think it's just a lot in basically every normal deck.
yeah, you're not playing this guy for the toughness or the power. Like if you get an attack in with it, that's fine. But you're really playing it, like you said, for the raw, unfettered. I can target anything and just obliterate it. And at the end of the day, that's something that I think any deck can utilize. Whether that's your control list, your aggro list. This card's going to see a ton of play, no doubt. Coming in second place here, we have a silver medal for Twigga. And this is the cheapest harvest card in the set.
Yeah, it's basically 2 pieces of card for 1 card. You're gonna draw something. You're gonna draw any lily available out of the 7, and yeah, you just get a 2 for 1. Maybe not be the strongest 2 for 1, but you compound that with the fact you can have wildfire and rising waters, and you just do 2 things for 1 mana. That's gonna be enormous, and it comes part of a 3 card chain too. You don't even really need a chain. I think this card just is one of the cheapest and will be one of the hugest enablers for a lot of the mechanics we have going on in elemental warfare.
Absolutely. And coming into the gold spot, I don't even think this one was a question. There wasn't a ton of thought that goes into this. I think it's just Gemini, right? Genetic split, being able to evolve and reproduce itself, and you're just getting so much value out of this 3 mana 5/5.
Yeah, as long as you can sculpt your deck to ensure that it gets one attack in, that'll compound. It'll snowball out of control extremely quickly. I think it will fit into every deck, of course, since normal can fit in most every deck outside of the heroes. But yeah, this is going to be one of the most influential cards in standard going into elemental warfare.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're down to our last two elements, and the next one up is nature. And coming in here in the third place finisher, getting a bronze medal, is going to be Boris.
Yeah, he has that family ability. If he has his mom and dad in the Doris and the Morris, he gets Rush, Infinite Strike, and Rock Solid. And those three combined, you can play them immediately and mow down their entire board, along with finishing, an extra chipping in for a little bit to the face too. It does take some setup. It does play. You have to play Morris and Doris in your deck to make this happen. So you do have to sculpt probably a turn 7 to make this all work out. But it is a game-winning play when you do it.
Yeah, and I think that's really why this one snuck in here at the bottom of the list, right down here in third place, is because on the surface it's not super strong, but I think the end result is could be impactful enough, and it could shape the meta, right? If we see a bunch of people building Boris, Doris, and Morris, you're going to have to start building your decks around it. And the fact that it could shape the meta potentially, I think is why, Boris makes number 3 on our list. So number 2 on our list is going to be Vinoy, and this is our cheapest afterlife card, I believe, inside of the nature set.
Yeah, this is the best rate afterlife card we got. We got a 2 mana 3/4. When it dies, it makes another 3/4. And that 3/4 Fontaria has regrowth 3. So all the champions you have in play when this Fontaria dies will get 3 more toughness, and you gain 3 life as well. So you're seeing, what was it? 6-8 of stats for 2 mana, maybe even more than that. It's hard to even realize how much stats you get from this, but it's hard to even go wrong with this card. Like, they don't want to kill it that much. You're fine with throwing it away. You're fine with the thing that dies, or when Vano dies, and that gets thrown away. You're just fine with all outcomes of when you play this moving forward. It's just, you're just good with it. It's just good all around.
Yeah, we call it like I think it's called like reverse equity in poker, where like you haven't made your hand yet, you're 4 cards to being able to make your hand, and then you're betting on the chance that you do hit. This implied odds, things of that nature. This card's kind of like that, right? It's hard to calculate, when you play it on the, like you said, on the face value, you're getting 6-8, which is 14 points of stats out of a 2 mana card, which is just insane. But then the regrow just has the ability, like if it triggers late in the game, right? You play this card, then you get your afterlife, and then when eventually your Fontaria dies, like you could be getting 20, 25 points of stats realistically. And I think that's, maybe a gross overestimation, but you could be getting a ton of real generated value, and it's very hard to guesstimate that. And I think that's why it makes our number 2 list. You could just, the possibility, I think, is very endless there. Coming in at number 1 is going to be our crafted card, and this is the card I think we're most excited about in nature. This is Venomescus, and this is the epic name crafted card that's 5 mana 9/7 with steel.
Yeah, I think this may be the best constructed card from nature here. We saw decks that try to steal cards from opponent all the way up to the point where they run the opponent out of cards. And this is coming with a body that's very threatening on its own. Like it will just threaten to kill them while they're having to deal with, hey, maybe I may run out of cards. And it's also a named hero too, so it's going to come with something significant for just having the card in your deck if you play that hero. But yeah, the rate on this is enormous compared to like the 4 mana 6/6 we saw previously. It's just huge, big enough to threaten a life total, big enough to live through most attacks, and you just get the card really up front. I think this card just is really sweet.
Yeah, I really love this card. It's going to be one of the cards I'm going to be looking to get when the set comes out. the fact that it replaces itself is like the number one great thing. Most of your other steel cards, you're like, yeah, cool. I got to draw a card within I thin my opponent's deck, but maybe I find an answer, maybe I don't. But I've gained a 1-for-1 resource and I've left a body behind. Well, this leaves behind an enormous body, a body like we have not seen for a card that is replacing itself. You take Barry Cane, for example. That's a card that replaces itself that comes off of an evolution. That's a 6/9. And I don't know about you, but I've watched hundreds of games where people just get beat to death with a Barry Cane, where the 9 toughness is too much and the 6 power is enough to just kind of smash everything. This being a 9/7, it has a lot of the same features that Barry Cane does, except this comes in at a mana cheaper. You're getting 3 more power, you're accelerating the game, you're putting your opponent on a clock. You're not fungal sporing this away. You're not, I guess the only drawback that I've seen to this card is that it dies to Hydroblast, right? That's the only one that I've seen. That 7 toughness can be interesting, but now you kind of just theory crafting that the metagame is playing Hydroblast, which is something we don't see very often. So I think the card is fantastic. So we'll move right into our last element here, and this is light. And we're going to give, we've agreed to give the bronze medal here to the Laga. This is the cheapest Purify card in the light set. It's 2 mana, 5/4.
Yeah, it's the most efficient one, I'd say. There's one as a 1 mana 2/1, but Purify says the target loses all of the. Let me look this up.
Yeah, I believe it's all buffs and debuffs is the way it's worded now.
Yeah, it's reset a target card back to its base stats and remove all buffs and debuffs from it. Okay, yeah. So this is just getting rid of anything they buffed and debuffed to get it back to base stats. It's a good heal too. Good heal. Your bigger card took some damage, and now you can get it back. Its life back up. Yeah, this is the most efficient part, most efficient card of this effect, and it has a good chain too, up into like Pilsner, I think it is. But yeah, I think Purify is going to be pretty strong. It's pretty versatile. You can target their stuff, you can target your stuff. It's the biggest light mechanic in the set, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be pretty decent.
Absolutely, I agree. And the 1 mana one is cheaper, and you do get the ability, but this one at least has a body and an evolution chain that I think keeps it around and makes it a little more playable than the other one that we've seen. So moving into our silver medalist, and we almost gave this one the gold, but gold is going to get the silver medal today.
Yeah, I've been fighting to give the gold, but there's a better card. Gold is very strong because there's not a light egg at the moment in standard, and this will be the first one. And we really need to see Aldrich seeing some play, or just really any of the expensive light cards have an ability to have access to an egg. This is really buffs up the light element as a whole, and why I think it's one of the most important cards from the set for light.
Yeah, 200% agree with you. Like I wish I could agree with you even more. I think we're gonna get to see some Aldrichs played on turn 3, and it's the fact that this comes in at 2 mana, I think is what's very interesting because you get a 1 mana light play, and if your opponent hasn't dealt with it, and then you do eventually evolve on your turn 3, the gold, you're getting immediate impact from an Aldrich that's coming down if you've played a 1 mana card. And if you're getting this on turn 3, you're getting Aldrich for 1 mana, you're drawing another card, you're getting a chance to play another 2 mana's worth of cards. And if for some reason you're on the draw and you have a Lily here as well, like you're getting insane value. Like, hey, opponent, you're at 20, it's turn 3. Go ahead. have a fun time.
Aldrich is huge. Aldrich is huge because the white Lily you get is a light card. Which is affected by Aldrich.
Which is I think just insane value. I think we're going to see some insane outplays. But our number 1 card from light, who is going to get the gold medal, is Temu Wapu. And I'll let you talk on this. This was the card you spoiled.
Yeah, the rate is just outrageous. Time Warp 2 means you evolve up to 2 times from whatever you target. 5 mana 7/7. You're going to get an enormous amount of stats just raw from whatever you target. Not just baseline. You say GOT returns from a 3/4 to a 9/9, like bless.
Yeah, say bless
10 or 9, 10
yeah.
Or something.
It goes bless 4, bless 6, bless 9. I believe it is.
Yeah,
I
it's just crazy.
Yeah, the rate on that is crazy, and 3,000% this card should have been a diamond. I don't think there's hands down. There's not a question in the world about it. This card should have been a diamond.
Yeah, very very surprising. It's not untiming here.
This card is
Yeah, side
Aethernar on
cover.
steroids. I mean,
Yeah, if Nar was a diamond, and it's just gonna hit everything. As long as you fill your deck with a decent number of two mana two mana champions that evolve twice. I mean, it's gonna be like the strongest thing you can play on turn 5 that you can possibly play on turn 5 going in set 5 here.
well, that comes to the end of our list. So yeah, I think I'm super excited. I think the set comes out in like 2 days, a day, something like that. But you know, I'll leave it open to you for some final thoughts before we close it out here.
I'm just gonna say if you have any thoughts, like, just go ahead and put them in the comments of this YouTube video. If you have a different top 3, if anything we missed, anything that we helped you with, yeah, just let us know. And I hope you like this video.
Yeah, absolutely. So any feedback that can be given would be helpful for both of us. I think both of us intend to probably continue to create content of some sort. I think these videos will go up on the Champions channel. I think I'm going to make some individual videos. Maybe I'll do some further videos if Boss is interested and put those on my YouTube and maybe get Boss's YouTube spun up and get some stuff put on over there. But feedback. If you didn't agree with what we said, tell us why, right? Post a comment. Tell us why you didn't agree. If there was something we helped you with, as he said, let us know. If there was something we didn't help you with or that you wanted to see that we didn't do, let us know so that we can make sure that we incorporate that moving forward. This has been a great series for us to do. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working with Boss. And just once again, my Twitter is below my webcam here, and I believe Boss's is underneath his. Just make sure that we are taking a screenshot of you liking the video and you're getting involved with that Elemental Warfare 6-packs that we're giving away when the set comes out. All you got to do is just get that screenshot, go to my Twitter page, the pinned tweet, or the tweet that was retweeted on Boss's page, and stick that screenshot in there. Send your in-game name. I'll send you a starter pack, and then you'll get entered into the drawing for the 6-packs of Elemental Warfare on launch day. And I guess with that, I'm Gremknot.
Yep, I'm Boston to G.
And we appreciate it. Thanks, guys.